The point of no return. Maya spent Thursday at work in a state of controlled chaos, her mind split between the Castellano case and the dinner she'd agreed to with Cameron. Every time her phone buzzed, her heart jumped. But it was never him. He was giving her space, she realized, letting her come to him without pressure. She left the office at 6:30, claiming a headache that wasn't entirely a lie. The tension had been building in her temples all day. A physical manifestation of the decision she'd made and couldn't unmake. Jordan had helped her choose an outfit over FaceTime. Jeans that fit like they'd been tailored, a silk blouse in deep emerald that made her skin glow, ankle boots with enough heel to feel powerful without trying too hard. "You look like yourself," Jordan had said approvingly, "not like you're trying to be anyone else." The dinner had been exactly what Cameron promised. Quiet, discreet, honest. They'd talked about everything except work. His divorce 3 years ago, her string of carefully controlled encounters, the loneliness of success, the fear of wanting something that could destroy everything you'd built. He'd walked her to her car afterward, kissed her forehead like a promise, and said, "Tomorrow night, if you still want this." She'd texted him from her apartment. Friday, 8 p.m., my place. Now it was Friday afternoon, and Maya sat in her office trying to focus on the deposition prep for Castellano's brother, while her mind kept circling back to what would happen in 4 hours. "You look distracted." Richard's voice from her doorway made her jump. "Just running through the questions for Monday's deposition," Maya said smoothly, gesturing to the legal pad covered in her notes. Richard stepped into her office, closing the door behind him. Maya's stomach tightened. He only closed doors for serious conversations. "I wanted to check in," he said, settling into the chair across from her desk. "You and Cameron seem to be working well together on Castellano." "We are." Maya kept her voice neutral, professional. "He's got excellent instincts on the financial forensics angle. He speaks highly of you, too." Richard studied her with those sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Says you're one of the sharpest associates he's worked with." Maya felt a flush of pleasure mixed with anxiety. "That's good to hear." "Partnership decisions get made in January," Richard continued. "The partners' meeting is the second week. We'll be evaluating everyone who's up for consideration." He paused. "You're at the top of the list, Maya, but you know how these things work. It's not just about the work. It's about judgment, discretion, understanding where the lines are." The words landed like ice water. Did he know? Was this a warning? "I understand," Maya said carefully. "Good." Richard stood. "Because I'd hate to see anything derail your track. You've worked too hard." He moved toward the door, then paused. "Have a good weekend, Maya. Try to get some rest. You've been burning the candle at both ends lately." After he left, Maya sat frozen, her heart hammering. Was it just general advice? Or had he somehow sensed something between her and Cameron? Her phone buzzed. "Cameron, still on for tonight?" Maya stared at the message. Richard's words echoed in her head, understanding where the lines are. She could text back right now and cancel. Say she'd reconsidered, that the risk was too great, that her career had to come first. It would be the smart choice, the safe choice, the choice that guaranteed partnership. But when she closed her eyes, she saw Cameron across the table at dinner last night, his guard completely down as he admitted he'd been going through the motions for years until Sunday night reminded him what it felt like to actually want something, to want someone. "Yes," she typed. "Still on." His response came immediately. "Good, because I've been thinking about you all day and it's making me completely useless in meetings." Despite everything, Maya smiled. "Professional," she typed back. "Until 8 p.m. Then I'm done being professional." Maya's pulse quickened. She forced herself back to the deposition prep, but the words swam on the page. Finally at 7, she gave up and headed home. Her apartment in Tribeca was small but expensive. A one-bedroom with exposed brick and massive windows overlooking the street. She'd bought it 2 years ago, her first major purchase after making senior associate. It was hers, a space she'd created that had nothing to do with the firm or partnership or proving herself. She showered, taking longer than necessary, then stood in her closet, wrapped in a towel, trying to decide what to wear. What did you wear when you were about to cross a line that could destroy your career? Jordan had laid out the dinner outfit, but this was different. This was her space, her choice, her terms. She chose simple, soft black leggings and an oversized cashmere sweater in charcoal gray that slipped off one shoulder. Bare feet. Hair down and still slightly damp. Minimal makeup. She wanted to look like herself, not like she was performing. At 7:45, she poured herself a glass of wine and tried not to pace. Her apartment was clean. She'd spent an hour last night making sure of it, which Jordan had found hilarious. "You're preparing for a hookup like it's a deposition," they'd said. "Just let it happen." But Maya didn't know how to just let things happen. She'd spent 6 years controlling every variable, managing every risk, ensuring nothing caught her off guard. Except Cameron had caught her off guard from the moment she'd seen him at that hotel bar. At exactly 8 o'clock, her buzzer sounded. Maya's heart jumped into her throat. She pressed the intercom. "It's me," Cameron's voice said, and even through the tinny speaker, it sent heat through her. "4th floor," she said, buzzing him in. She opened her apartment door and waited, listening to his footsteps on the stairs. Then he appeared on the landing, and her breath caught. He'd changed from work clothes, jeans, a navy Henley, leather jacket. His hair was slightly mussed, like he'd been running his hands through it. He carried a bottle of wine and something else she couldn't quite see. "Hi," he said, stopping a few feet from her door. "Hi." Maya stepped back. "Come in." He entered her apartment, and suddenly the space felt smaller, more intimate. He set the wine on her kitchen counter along with the other item, a bakery box. "I didn't know if you'd eaten," he said, "so I brought dessert, just in case." The gesture was so unexpectedly sweet that Maya felt something in her chest crack open. Thank you." They stood there for a moment, the air between them charged with everything unsaid. Cameron looked around her apartment, the exposed brick, the built-in bookshelves crammed with legal texts and novels, the vintage rug, the photographs of her and Jordan at various stages of their lives. "This is nice," he said. "It feels like you." "What does that mean?" Maya asked, genuinely curious. Smart, sophisticated, but also warm, real. He turned back to her. "Not like those sterile designer places that look like no one actually lives there." Maya felt heat rise in her cheeks. "I spend most of my time at the office, but when I'm here, I want it to feel like home." "It does." Cameron took a step closer. "Maya, before anything else happens tonight, I need to say something." Her stomach tightened. "Okay. I know what this costs you," he said quietly. "I know the risk is bigger for you than it is for me, and I know that's not fair. I know you're putting your partnership on the line by letting me be here." He held her gaze. "So I need you to know that I'm all in. This isn't just about attraction or sex or scratching an itch. I want to know you. The real you, not just the brilliant attorney I see at work. And I'm willing to be careful, to be discreet, to do whatever it takes to protect your career while we figure out what this is." Maya's throat felt tight. "What if we can't? What if there's no way to do both?" "Then we'll deal with it when we get there," Cameron said. "But I'd rather try and fail than spend the rest of my life wondering what might have happened if I'd been brave enough to take the risk." Maya thought about Richard's words earlier, about judgment and discretion and understanding where the lines were. She thought about 6 years of perfect behavior, of never putting a foot wrong, of building her career with single-minded focus. Then she thought about Thursday night at dinner, when Cameron had told her about his marriage ending because he'd realized he was living a life that looked perfect on paper but felt hollow inside. "I don't want to wake up at 60 and realize I spent my whole life playing it safe," he'd said. Maya closed the distance between them and kissed him. It was different from the hotel, slower, deeper, weighted with meaning instead of anonymity. Cameron's hands came up to frame her face, gentle and sure, and Maya felt herself melting into him. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Cameron rested his forehead against hers. "I've been thinking about doing that again since Sunday night." "Me too," Maya admitted. "And now?" Maya took his hand and led him toward her bedroom. "Now we stopped talking about risks and consequences for a few hours." Her bedroom was dim, lit only by the city lights filtering through the gauzy curtains. The bed was made with crisp white sheets. She'd changed them this morning, another act of preparation Jordan would have mocked her for. Cameron pulled her close again, kissing her slowly as his hands slid under her sweater, warm against her skin. Maya tugged at his Henley, pulling it over his head, then pressed her palms against his chest, feeling his heart racing as fast as hers. "Tell me what you want," Cameron murmured against her throat. "You," Maya said simply, "just you." They undressed each other slowly, a deliberate contrast to the urgent encounter at the hotel. This time, there was no anonymity to hide behind, no pretending this was just physical. When Cameron laid her back on the bed, his eyes held hers with an intensity that made her breath catch. "You're beautiful," he said, and the way he said it, like a revelation, not a line, made her believe him. They came together in a tangle of sheets and whispered words, the city humming outside her windows as they lost themselves in each other. It was better than the hotel, deeper, more vulnerable, more real. Maya had spent so long compartmentalizing, keeping her professional self separate from her desires. But with Cameron, those walls were crumbling. Afterward, they lay tangled together, Cameron's fingers tracing lazy patterns on her shoulder. "Stay," Maya heard herself say. "Don't leave this time." Cameron pressed a kiss to her hair. "I'm not going anywhere." Maya's phone buzzed on the nightstand, probably Jordan checking in, but she ignored it. For once, she wasn't thinking about the firm or partnership or consequences. She was just here, in this moment, with this man who made her feel brave enough to want something beyond her carefully controlled plans. "What happens Monday?" she asked quietly. "At work?" "Monday, we're colleagues working a case together," Cameron said. "Professional, appropriate, no one will know." "And Friday night?" "Friday night, we're whatever we decide to be." He tilted her chin up to look at him. "We'll figure it out, Maya, one day at a time." It should have felt impossible, maintaining this double life, keeping their relationship secret while working together. But lying there in Cameron's arms, Maya felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. Not just for partnership or career success, but for something more. Something real. Her phone buzzed again. This time, curiosity won. She reached for it, expecting Jordan. But the text wasn't from Jordan. It was from an unknown number. "Saw your boyfriend leaving your building. Interesting choice for someone gunning for partnership. Wonder what Richard would think?" Maya's blood turned to ice. She sat up abruptly, clutching the phone. "What's wrong?" Cameron asked, immediately alert. Maya handed him the phone wordlessly. She watched his expression harden as he read the message. "Who has this number?" he asked. "Everyone at the firm," Maya said, her voice hollow. "It's my work cell." Cameron sat up, his jaw tight. "Someone followed me here, or was watching your building." "Someone from the firm," Maya said. The implications crashed over her like a wave. "Someone who knows about us and is threatening to tell Richard." They stared at each other in the dim light, the warmth of moments ago replaced by cold reality. Someone knew their secret, and that someone had the power to destroy everything Maya had worked for. "What do we do?" Maya whispered. Cameron's expression was grim. "We find out who sent this, before they decide to use it."
Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures.